Hello everybody, welcome to my channel, 1111 Butterfly Effect, where transformation happens, knowledge is power, and the divine is always at work. Thank you all for joining my divine spirit and the oracles and I here at the table today for this surprise show, surprise segment, surprise event. And since I can't do live events yet, this is a pre-recorded surprise event. And what it is a deck reveal. I've gotten a few new decks, more than a few, and today I'm going to reveal and talk about a few of them and have a candid conversation, an intimate introspective of 1111 Butterfly Effect and what some of my beliefs are, what some of my experiences are in relation to Oracle and Tarot and my journey in particular. So to start this out, let me start it out with a little magic. So, thank you, my divine spirit. Thank you, oracles. Please join me here at the table and offer up some insightful, candid conversation commentary to open the eyes of someone who has not seen yet, or inspire somebody out there whose eyes are wide open and is ready to embrace their new direction. So, on that note, let's bring on this deck reveal, right? Abracadabra! Let's do this deck reveal. Reveal yourself. And there we go! Just like that. It's magic, right? So, as I said, today is all about deck reveal. I've taken some notes just so I can run through it pretty quickly. If you notice, you do see a lot of decks here. There's 1, 2, and there's one behind here, 3. There's a deck here, and there's 2 decks over here. So just to point this out to you, okay? Today, my focus is going to be about these 3 decks. In particular, we're going to be doing the deck reveal on this top one, Messages from the Mermaids. They were calling to me, and you know what? They arrived. Just like that. I embraced it and invited them in with all this communication, this blue, okay? Right? That's what this is all about. All this blue here. Okay, I'm pointing to it off camera, and now I gotta get on camera to point it to you. It was all like serendipity, okay? The thought, the pull to do the blue, the thought about the water, and there's something I want to talk about that. My long time fascination with dolphins. Okay, I've been making these dolphins out of clay since I was a child. Okay, long time. Talking decades. We won't go there. Let's go here right now for this new deck reveal. New to 1111 Butterfly Effect, which part of today's conversation is going to be about why 1111 Butterfly Effect predominantly chooses and uses oracle decks. Well, I'm here to say that tarot is, a part of my journey and is going to be implemented into the channel here. My divine spirit and I are working it out, and I'm going through a re-education, so to speak. In fact, coincidentally, or no coincidence at all, is that these decks, like this is my very first deck here ever of my set, of my collection. And this is a special deck for many reasons. And very quickly, I'll just say this, that my oldest sister, may she rest in peace. She passed away. She was like a mother to me. She was the oldest of 8 children. I'm the youngest of 8 children. I'm the 7th daughter, 7th born, okay? And then we adopted a boy. So 8 kids in my family. My oldest sister had her psychic gifts, and later on, towards her latter years in life, she picked up tarot reading, and she did tarot reading and got into divination and conversations with God. That other book, Miracles or something, I forget, Course of Miracles. Embracing her own spiritual self, and she read my cards with this deck, this Colette Baron-Reid deck. So this was like my first deck experience. Although psychic abilities and tarot, Wicca, and probably witchery back in the generations and generations ago, ancestors, so to speak, it's in the family, it's in the DNA. And in my own way, I've expressed throughout my life my own abilities to the family and to my friends if they were paying attention. And now, in retrospect, looking back, I know it was all for a reason, for this reason right here, for the journey that I'm on now, for this second half of my life. So anyway, dare I digress? I don't want to. I want to try and stay focused on the main reason for this upload today of Candid Conversation is for this new deck reveal. We're going to reveal and focus on this top deck, but these 2 other decks are equally important, along with the story and this deck itself. I started, refreshing my own skills with this deck and another deck. Just 2 decks. Before I ever started this channel, for a year, I worked with 2 decks. And the channel came into creation. And here we are. And that's a part of my journey story, which I will be doing another segment later on about my own personal journey, in this life. And it's gonna be a Cliff Notes version. It's not gonna be a documentary from birth till now, okay? Rest assured, I won't bore you with all my details. But it's gonna focus on, 5 main points of my story. Birth, which was eventful. Big life events, relationships, twin flame journey, and spiritual awakening Kundalini experience, okay? There's going to be a segment on that, on my personal journey, coming up soon. So pay attention to the channel. If you're new to the channel, subscribe so you can, and hit that bell so you can get notified when my posts are uploaded. And hit that like button. And thank you all for doing so and showing your support to 1111 Butterfly Effect and your journey as well. Because that's what this channel is all about. It's all about the journey, and it's all about transformation, spiritual awakening, traveling down our yellow brick roads, helping each other navigate safely and soundly, and helping raise the vibration of this planet. And that means helping humanity, right? Okay, back to life, back to reality, which is this new deck reveals, okay? So let me just check off a few things. See if I discussed any of this stuff, okay? I talked about my new beginnings and the journey, re-education. We'll see how it rolls out. Okay. And, like I said, interesting enough, my re-education is directly involving some of these mystics, psychics, And clairvoyants, angel messengers, they are my teachers. That is why I use these decks. Because they are becoming more and more familiar. I am honing my relationship with these oracles via these teachers and my own divine connection. So, that is just a synopsis of me. If, by the way, if you want to see me revealed, okay, that will be coming up soon too. I've already done it once. I've already shown my face once on my channel. If you go back, scroll down into my posts months ago, I did a post with, yes, my mug, yours truly, showing my face on camera. And there's another post, live / pre-recorded live event of me outside grounding myself and earthing and talking about how I do it. So there are 2 posts on my channel, one of me, my face, my mug, and 2 of my feet. The other one is of my feet. Okay, so if you want to see me revealed, scroll down on my channel, take a look at all my other posts, and you'll find it. And stay tuned, because there will be another face-to-face with me soon. I'm making some plans and trying to get through this. Pretty much I work 3 jobs, this job, another, and 2 other part-time jobs. So I'm kind of a busy person, kinda. I do dedicate a lot of my time here, and it's still, a lot of it, things are still in development and creation stages, including, honing my gifts and my intuition, which are turned on. They just need to be tuned up. So I'm tuning them up, and they're getting stronger and stronger, and I'm, blowing the mind of my sisters. I know I am. They may not all admit it, okay? But my psychic abilities are turned on and tuned up, and they're getting tuned up. My ESP, about when, thinking about somebody and they call me, telepathy, intuition, I'm missing something, something's displaced, I can't find it, I think, I meditate, I find it, for other people as well. Manifestation, it's all about the thought, all the way down to the parking light, the stoplight and the parking space. Okay, so think about all those things when you're watching readers or messengers, channelers, and you don't know their whole story. Check into their page. I'm sure they have an about section to learn about them and what they're all about, what their channel is all about, and why they do what they do, and so on. So back to this deck reveal, okay? I think I kind of touched on why I, choose the oracles versus the tarot. It's just something that calls to me. I was first, exposed to oracle versus tarot, classic traditional tarot. Not to say my sister didn't use it, she did. But again, these call to me. These decks that I have, and I have several, and there's, oracle decks for feminine, masculine. There's oracle decks for, guidance on emotional decisions. There's, simple answer oracle decks. There's oracle decks about journeys. There's oracle decks about direction, about angels. There's affirmation and confirmation decks that affirm and confirm messages from other decks, and so on. And then you have your own personal decks that some readers make, create, develop. And then there's also the regular deck of playing cards, okay? And I have my own deck that I use. I use that with my message by numbers post when I do numerology messages. Because there's messages in the numbers. And when you're seeing numbers, you know, that means something. Especially if they're constant and double digit, triple digit, etc. So those are something to pay attention to on your journey. The divine, your ancestors, your loved ones, someone is speaking to you. They're offering you up communication, a message, some type of reminder or, you know, hint of hope that you may need in that moment. So keep your eyes open and pay attention to those, right? All right, let's see. Already into 13 minutes. Talked about my reveals. Back to the Oracle versus Tarot. And why I choose Oracles again. You know, that they call to me. And currently my re-education, coincidentally, actually no coincidences. There's this, I was led to this, that the majority of these decks are the teachers involved in my re-education. Some personally, right? And that includes my spiritual teacher out here who has since retired from some of the things she does, but she's still very active in this community. And her name is Lucy McMonagle. She's nationally and internationally known psychic medium. She's been on television, on radio. She's a mystic. She has her own website, lucymcmonagle.com. Lucy, L-U-C-I, McMonagle, M-C-M-O-N-A-G-L-E.com. I'll have that written in the description box down below the title of this video. So if you open up the description box, there's a lot of information there, including what I'm talking about here on this post. So check that out too. And these people that come into our lives are important right now. And the people that are leaving our lives, you know, that's equally important. There are reasons for everything. There are reasons for separation in twin flame journey connections. There are reasons that twins don't go into union with their twin, they go into a relationship with a soulmate. Because that's divine intervention, that something has to take place for this journey to continue while the other person gets ready or finishes their work or etc. You know, and these oracle decks, you know, going into the definition of what is the difference between oracle and tarot. I mean, the ultimate message is the same. It's, you know, a way to communicate with the divine. Okay? But the oracles are a little bit more flexible and or fluid. Okay? The tarot is a bit more fixed. I should say a lot more fixed. Okay? Oracle decks can range from, you know, short amount of cards, 20-something, 30-something, all the way up to possibly 78, right? But usually not that high. Oracles usually stay within the 60s or so. They leave the 70s, the high number, to tarot. Right? Some, not all. A lot of people are creating oracle decks now, and some of those oracle decks have higher numbers than 60-something cards. Depends on, you know, what you want, what you're attracted to, what decks call to you. You know, angel decks, journey decks, mermaid decks, etc. Mystic wisdom of the hidden realms deck. Like this one called to me because it reminds me of my oldest sister. She compelled me to get this deck and begin this new journey. She was part of that. I won't say she compelled me, but she was part of that through this deck. Going back to the differences, you know, again, oracles are more fluid and flexible in the way they present their messages and or answer questions. The tarot is much more fixed, 78 cards. You have higher arcana, minor, major arcana, minor arcana, etc. Swords, cups, pentacles, wands. All those mean something. Emotions, communication, abundance, etc. Right? Very fixed. Okay? Pretty much the only thing you'll see different in tarot is possibly the illustrations. Like the difference between Universal WAITE deck and The Good Tarot by Colette Baron-Reid. Okay? They each have 78 cards. They're each tarot decks. Okay? However, the difference is in the illustration. This is more traditional imagery. No mistake, traditional tarot. And this, for this more modern time that we live in, okay? We don't fight with swords anymore, right? Right. We don't fight with swords anymore, ride horses. And we're not knights and kings in the sense of the word, right? In the definition of the word. In our minds, in our way we present ourselves, yes. The Good Tarot is a softer version. It's a more modern version geared to appeal to today, the time of today, today's era. So that today, the people of today can relate to it. Right? So, that would be the differences between tarot and oracle, in a nutshell. I know I went on a little bit more than I wanted to about it, but, in a nutshell, that's it. Fluid and flexible, fixed and I don't know what other word I could use to describe tarot. Fixed and dependable, maybe. Okay, because you know that every sun card is going to have these certain images in it with a few variations, right? So that you can intuitively gain and channel the messages that need to come in from divine. Oracle, on the other hand, dependent on what pulls you in and the relationship you form with the oracle, with the deck itself, and your own gifts of intuition and insight will be how you read with the oracles, if that makes any sense, right? That's why it's important to pick out your decks, see what calls to you, see some people, look at the cards. Some people just look at the cover, like this is a beautiful, beautiful cover. But it was the mermaids that called to me. In my younger days, in 20s and 30s, when I lived near the beach, I used to make sand sculptures. And what was it? It was of mermaids. Coincidentally? No coincidence, okay? Just like these dolphins, it's no coincidence that I made mermaid sand sculpture in my younger days, okay? So it called to me, this deck. And it came to me miraculously, right? It's like I called out to it, and it called back, and showed up. Showed up, yes, huh? Follow through, right? How easy was that? It was very easy. Painless, okay? So, Beautiful deck. This Messages from the Mermaids deck is a Karen K deck. Awesome mystic all on her own, and author of decks and literature books, I do believe. And the artwork is by Linda Olson, famous, I take it, famous artist who paints mermaids. You can look her up, Linda Olson. Mermaids is her specialty, and she collaborated with Karen K to come up with this deck. Awesome. It's a 44 card deck with a guidebook. You know, and that brings me to the guidebooks. You know, a lot of people say, you know, guidebooks, no, don't read them, don't go to them, waste of time, waste of energy. Okay, that's to each its own. Some people read the guidebooks and memorize what's in the guidebooks per the cards, which is great. You know, other people, you know, choose to just intuitively read the cards and not ever go to the book. But the books were written for a reason. The guidebooks are here for a reason. And they should be paid attention to. There are, you know, messages from the divine, straight from the mermaids in this book. And sometimes the intuitive messages come in so quickly, we miss some, they don't all come out. And the book is a good way to reference and possibly remember a quick bit of information that came in that you realize you've missed. Or offer up a message that didn't come in but needed to be said via the guidebook. So the guidebooks are not a bad thing. And if you think that you are judging a reader or a messenger or channel because they go to their guidebooks or reference their guidebooks, you're missing out on messages for yourself. Most definitely. Because again, the guidebooks are here for a reason. The authors spend a lot of time with their divine connection, their guides, their angels, to create and develop their sets, their decks, guidebooks included. Most decks come with guidebooks. There's some that don't, but there's usually you know, some kind of direction or instruction that goes with the deck in some form or another, right? Or the explanation is written on the card itself. It doesn't need a guidebook because the explanation is the card. So don't frown upon readers and messengers and channels that reference the guidebook, because again, the guidebook is there for a reason, and readers and messengers and channels still read intuitively. I'm sure you notice the difference when they're reading and when they're not, when I'm reading, when I'm not reading. And if you're really paying attention, you can notice the correlation pre and post, that some messages come out and the book confirms it. Some messages come out intuitively and the book, the guidebook, confirms it. So the guidebook is important. Again, don't judge readers, messengers, and channelers who use their guidebook, because again, if you don't watch readers and messengers and channelers that use their guidebooks, you may be missing out on very important messages for you. So, oh, we don't want to do that. Oh yeah, we already opened this deck up, I remember. Took the seal off and looked through all the cards, said my prayers, and did opened my relationship up with this oracle deck and with the mermaids, and it was beautiful. And again, that is why I have all this blue. Okay, this blue is, and the month of August is all about communication. And you know, we'll read here, the mermaids are the elemental guardians of the sea. They excel in matters of the heart and emotions, and wish to share their watery wisdom with the human realm. This beautiful 44-card deck offers gentle yet direct solutions to any challenges you might be facing, and will guide you to a more harmonious way of living. So dive into this mystical world, open your heart to the mermaids, and trust that Miraculous transformation can happen. Wow. I do agree. I mean, just the front of the card, the decks, the front of the cards of this deck are beautiful. The colors are beautiful. It's like sky and heaven, as above, so below, right? Twin shells. So I consider this a potential twin flame deck. Mermaids are heavily involved in twin flame past lives. I know in mine it was in at least one of mine past lives. I've dreamt about it. So, the mermaid deck has called me. What calls to you? Those are the decks for you, right? Beautiful imagery, beautiful artwork. Love it, love it, love it. And again, Linda Olson is the illustrator of this deck. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. So I'm just going to go through a few cards and show you, and then get into the close of this little candid chat new deck reveal. Just look at the colors. Brilliant. Gratitude. You know, look at all that blue. Huh? The cards are real nice. There's some glossy finish to it. Not too thick, not too thin. They shuffle real nice too. It's a lovely deck. I definitely recommend it. Gratitude. Thank you very much, mermaids, for bringing this deck to me. Beautiful. Abundance. Look at that. Beautiful mermaid and an abundant treasure chest. Treasure! Bruno Mars. Great song. Abundance. Lots of fish in the sea. Look at all that. Abundance. Okay, not just one or two fish. There's like a, what do they call a flock of fish? A flock? Innocence. Lovely. Look at that. Contemplation. Beautiful. Oh, gentleness. Looks like Aquaman, right? Or what was that that comic strip character, that movie they just had? Woo. Looks just like him, huh? Mystery. Beautiful. So again, you know, you choose your decks, and of course they will choose you. They will call out to you and tell you, you know, yes, we're a good fit. Light. You're beacons of light out there, light workers. Look at that. Lighthouse. Beautiful mermaid looking up to the skies. Friendship. Absolutely beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Miracles. Solitude. Look at all that darkness. But you know what? Even in the dark, there's light. Right? There. So, the truth is, I love this deck, and I'll be using it in the future. So I hope you enjoy it. You know, and love comes in all shapes and sizes. Colors and numbers, right? Awareness. Nice. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Positivity. Stay positive in your journey, people, and it will help you get through it. Let go and let it flow, okay? Like the waters of the ocean. As Bruce Lee says, be water, my friend. Think about that, okay? And treat yourself right. Like the Dr. Emoto research shows that if you yell and talk bad at water, it distorts it. If you give it love and talk happiness to it and wonderful things, it turns into a beautiful, wonderful, amazing crystal. Feelings, nothing more than feelings. Yes, turn away, decisions, blessings, ask for help. I mean, wonderful. There is definitely a couple males in here. I'm trying to find the other one. He looks like King Titan. You know, looks like Poseidon. But, in a pinch, of course, I can't find him. Might have gone down on another card stack. That's alright. The deck is beautiful. I'm very impressed, and I definitely recommend it. Definitely, definitely, definitely. Clear the deck for the moment. Put it back in its little box. Protect it. That's another thing. You know, storing your cards is really important to keep the energy focused and not contaminated. So, I've been told by some great teachers that you're going to keep your cards around you. Keep them in their box. Keep them in their individual boxes, and that'll help protect each deck individually. If you're going to have to open them up and use them, do them in the moment. Do some saging and cleansing and clearing. And then when you're done, clear the deck before you put them away in their box, right? So again, you know, we've covered the difference between Oracle and Tarot and why I, you know, enjoy the Oracle, why it calls to me more than the Tarot. Although the Tarot will be coming into this channel a little bit more as Divine compels me to. We're developing some new segments which will implement the Tarot with the Oracle decks together. And, you know, just a little briefly, let me discuss the definition of divination. According to the dictionary, divination is the practice of seeking knowledge of the future or the unknown and supernatural means. Right? The art or practice that seeks to foresee or foretell future events or discover hidden knowledge, usually by the interpretation of omens or by the aid of supernatural powers like intuition, clairvoyance, clairaudience, all the clairs, etc., right? Or by the aid of, you know, Oracle and Tarot. It's unusual insight, intuitive perception, and the oracles and the tarot help the messenger, the reader, bring that out of themselves. From divine through them to you. And, you know, whether you've done it 30 years and your gifts are honed, you still will continue to learn. My gifts started early, but they were stifled and repressed. So now I'm re-educating myself during my journey, my awakening, my twin flame journey, all at the same time. I think because I had the chance to heal other things earlier on in my life. Childhood trauma, healing that, you know, healing, forgiving parent-child issues, you know, going through things in relationships and coming to terms with them and coping through life as it comes. So I guess now at this time during my twin flame journey, I am bombarded at the same time that hurry up and hone your spiritual gifts, re-educate yourself, because this journey is about to get thick and heavy. And you think you're busy now? Just wait. Are here to help us through that and help us grow into the higher and be our higher authentic self. Live our lives in our higher authentic self, in the light beings and star seeds, indigo kids, twin flame soulmate beings that we are. We wouldn't be here listening and doing this if we weren't. And the oracles and the tarot are around and here to help us. Are you listening? I hope so. Thanks for being here. Check out and stay tuned for our next post. If you like what you've seen here, please hit that like button and subscribe to my channel. Help us continue to grow. And the faster we grow, the more we can do some live events, because I really want to do some live events and not have to pre-record this stuff. But again, take it as it comes. I go with the flow and I follow my divine plan. You do the same. Take good care. Stay safe. And bye-bye.